All right, welcome back to episode 3 of Two Generations, One Mic. I'm your host, Ben, and I am here with my co host and dad, Pat. Pat, I know you have your new jersey every week, so what do we have today?
Oh man, Ben, have I got a good one for you? We are rocking the Mark Duper from the Miami Dolphins back in the mid 80s. Number 85, got Duper on the back. So Mark Duper was drafted in 82, played 11 seasons with the Dolphins, all of them with the Dolphins, played with Hall of Famer and one of the best quarterbacks ever, Dan Marino. They went to the Super Bowl in 84, lost to the 49ers. He had three Pro Bowl years, 1983, 1984, and 1986, with 84 being his highest in reception totals. I think he had 71 receptions for 1,300 yards, and then like right at 1,300. And then in 86, he had a fewer receptions. He had 67, I believe, with just over 1,300 yards. So anyway, he had a fellow wide receiver named Mark Clayton, and the two of them were together for a number of years playing with Marino. They were just a ton of fun to watch, and Marino just slinging the ball all over the place. They were a great team, and it's a great jersey. The old Dolphin jersey and logo, for that matter, the Dolphin jumping, wearing the the helmet, so cool, so
Yeah,
cool. Because this color is just a little bit different than they are now. So
for sure. Yeah,
there you go. That's the jersey for episode 3, Ben.
that's awesome. Love it. Um, so we have a good episode today. A lot going on in the world of football and basketball. So we'll touch on everything. And then if you're not following us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, go ahead and do that. Uh, 2Gen 1 Mic Pod for everything. All right, starting it off in the NFL. So the big storyline from this week is Shedeur got his first start. Now it was against the Raiders, but he was the first Browns quarterback this century to win his first start. It's been about 30 years, I think since 95. I forgot who the quarterback was, but that's the last time a Browns quarterback won their first start. And there's been a lot of quarterbacks in there. So
Oh man, have they cycled quarterbacks through that place?
pretty impressive. And I mean, he was 11 for 20, 209 yards, one touchdown, one interception. He had a couple good deep throws. Looked pretty good, even though it was against the Raiders. And then Schefter just announced yesterday that he will be starting this coming week, whether Gabriel's healthy or not. So, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think that that's great. You got to see what you've got in him as well as Dylan Gabriel. What
Mhm.
do you think, Ben, about the fact that the coach Kevin Stefanski did not gave a game ball to neither Shedeur nor Dylan Gabriel when they both won their first starts as NFL quarterbacks for the Browns? Is
I,
that a
I
good move or a bad move as a coach?
I'd say I'd say probably bad move. I mean, unless you have guys just going off, like Miles Garrett with 3 sacks, or if Quinshon Judkins had a great game. But if no one else on the field does anything super special, I think you give a game ball to the rookie quarterback for their
Well,
first.
and I mean, give multiple game balls.
Yeah, I know Kevin
I've seen
O'Connell.
plenty of locker room videos where coaches have given 3, 4 game balls
Kevin O'Connell does that all the time for the
all the
Vikings.
time.
He gives
Yes.
4. Yeah. So,
Skull Vikings.
well, not really right now, but
We'll get to that.
yeah. Um, yeah, but getting back on track, I think you start Shador for basically the rest of the season because Gabriel's had about 6 starts or so. You kind of know what you have in him, and he just basically proved all his pre-draft concerns. He's small out there. He doesn't have the deep ball like Shedeur has. Um, Shedeur had three passes of over 35 yards, and between Flacco and Gabriel for the first 12 weeks of the season, they had one combined.
Yeah.
So
Nope.
their offense had no juice to it, and Shedeur just adds a different dimension. So I think you need to run out the season with him, just so you have about a 6 game sample size for Gabriel and Shedeur, and then you address quarterback in the offseason, whether it's one of those guys going forward. Do you attack it in the draft? Do you look who's available for trade, or see what the free agent market's like?
I
So,
totally agree. Totally agree.
I
As a GM, you got to see what you got,
yeah, or else you don't know what to do this summer.
right?
Um,
Right.
yeah, so looking at the AFC South now.
Wait, can I
So,
jump in real quick, Ben?
yes,
Let
yes.
me ask you a quick question, final question in regards to that subject. Uh, Dylan Gabriel gets hurt. Shedeur Sanders obviously was the backup, technically on paper, came in. Dylan Gabriel's listed as healthy now, and Shedeur gets to continue to start. What's your feeling on that? From a coach looking, coach idea of I'm not going to, a starter does not lose his spot from injury or due to injury versus this situation.
I think that's a situational question. You got to look at all the players involved. And Dylan Gabriel, yeah, he's kept his spot from week to week, but I don't think he's earned the I'm the starting quarterback of this team. He's more still in like a tryout period. So it's unfortunate for him, but I Shador won the game. If he had played awful and the Raiders beat the Browns, then sure, go back to Dylan Gabriel. But that didn't happen. Shador looked solid. So, and this is a losing season for the Browns. You're not gonna make the playoffs here. So you need to see what you have.
I completely agree with you. And I know you and I keep looking for something to completely disagree on,
Yeah.
but we haven't hit it yet in this episode anyway.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. He didn't Dylan Gabriel in this particular situation, it by far doesn't warrant that sort of rule of you don't lose your spot due to injury as a starting quarterback. And I also agree you hit the nail on the head when you said that that is situational. Typically, you'll see a starting quarterback, if he gets hurt and is out 2, 3, 4 spots, he'll get his spot back. I did look back at the old Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe situation. So, just to refresh your memory for those that weren't alive or don't remember. So, Brady, I believe, was drafted in 2000. Fast forward to his second year of and Drew Bledsoe started all the games in the 2000 season. Fast forward to, and interestingly enough, March of 2001 with the Patriots signs the highest deal money wise ever. I believe it was a 10-year, let's just say $130,000 million contract. I forget. March of 2001. Then the season starts that fall. In the second game of the season, Bledsoe gets hit right in the sternum. I believe it was against the Jets and just got smoked. And in came Brady. And Brady went 11-3 and got them into the playoffs. And they were into the second game of the playoffs, I believe. Don't hold me to that. Could have been the first game, second game, whatever. And Bill Belichick, who was fairly fresh as a head coach of the Patriots, elected to keep Brady as the starting quarterback, and the rest is history. He won the Super Bowl that year and continued to win five more with the Patriots and one more with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So again, I think is situational. I mean, the guy went 11-3, got you into the playoffs. I think he won the last 5 games of the year to get them into the playoffs that year. So it was not a given that they were in the playoffs. I mean, he made a great last push as a second-year player, first-year starting his first games,
Yeah.
Gets him into the playoffs, gets him to the Super Bowl, wins the Super Bowl. Bledsoe, I believe, was on the roster the next year as technically as a backup. So then Brady got the job,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, and then they jettisoned him off to I believe Buffalo, and then he kind of ran out his career at Buffalo. He was with the Cowboys and a handful of other teams. So
Which, and that I agree with, because I mean Brady started essentially the whole year and did well. Like I'm sure if Bledsoe's injury was more minor and he had been out 3 or 4 games, Belichick would have probably gone back to Bledsoe, don't you think?
I would agree.
Compared
I would
to
agree.
14 games or whatever it was.
I would totally agree.
Yeah. All
Yep.
right. Looking at the AFC South here, so the Colts lose a tight one to the Chiefs. The Jags had an ugly win against the Cardinals, and Houston had a great defensive performance against the Bills on Thursday Night Football. They had 8 sacks. Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. That's probably the best edge duo in the league, and they looked amazing.
Their defense is very solid. I mean, they're right behind, they're not too far behind. I mean, no, I know it's AFC versus NFC, but right behind the Rams.
Hmm.
I mean, they are a staunch defense.
Yeah, their front seven's good. Their DBs are good. I mean, Stingley's one of the best corners in the league. Bullock had 2 picks. Yeah, so now with all that, the Colts only have a 1 game lead over the Jags, and then the Texans are right behind the Jags by 1 game. So, beginning of the season, it looked like the Colts were kind of going to run away with this division. But now, I mean, this might be the closest division in football regarding playoffs. So I'm going to
And
read,
very entertaining to watch.
yes, and very entertaining to watch. So I'm going to read you off the remaining schedules for each, and I want you to make a pick on who you like to get the title here. Because
Perfect.
there's also a lot of divisional games here. So the Colts have the Texans twice, the Jags twice, the Seahawks, and the Niners. So that's a fairly tough one. The
That
Jag
I mean, that's beyond fairly. I mean, that is tough.
Yeah, the Jags have the Titans twice, the Colts twice, the Jets and Broncos. And then the Texans have the Colts twice, Chiefs, Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers.
I will be honest with you, Ben. If you were asking me to rank one,
Hmm.
two, and three, the Colts, I'm gonna actually come from the bottom up. The
Yeah.
Colts, I think, fall to three if everything stays as is. No major injuries amongst the other teams that they're playing.
Hmm.
Uh, I think they've got by far the toughest of all of that group.
Yeah.
The last one you read, I believe, was the Texans, who have the Cardinals and the Raiders in there,
Yes.
which, if they play as well as they're playing, should be wins handily.
Hmm.
Like you said, there's a number of divisions in there. I think it's going to be the Jaguars and the Texans battling it out.
I think so too. And yeah, the fact that the for divisional games left that the Jags have the Titans twice as well as the Jets in there, that's pretty huge for them as well. Because, I mean, assuming the Jags are able to kind of gut out these wins, those
Right.
should be 3 wins right there.
Yep.
So, yeah, even though the Colts have the lead right now, of those 3 schedules, they by far have the toughest.
Right. I would totally agree. And it's too bad because I guess there's kind of neat stories with each team that make me, just as a fan,
Hmm.
again, prefacing that that's how we come at all of this stuff, is simply as a fan. I think it's really neat that Jim Irsay's daughters have taken over the Colts team administration and have, coming up through the years under Jim, have been very involved learning the business, making sure that when the time came for them to move into the leadership positions, I believe there are 3 daughters and they all have leadership positions starting at the very top down, and they've all
Hmm.
dived straight in.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you for my grammar there. I think that's cool. And I do like to see Trevor Lawrence doing well down in Jacksonville.
I do too. I've always liked him, and I mean, he's had a tough coaching situation, like the cycle they've gone through, like that awful Urban Meyer year. He had one good year with Doug Peterson, then that kind of fell apart, and
Right.
it hasn't been easy for him. So I
No.
cheer for him. Um, but yeah, with the Colts owner's daughters, it's cool because the one is on the sideline wearing the headset, listening to everything. I think that's
Right.
pretty cool.
I
Yeah.
think it's super cool too. And she's, don't hold me to this, but she's the top one of the three.
Oh,
The
okay.
one that does that. The one that does that. I
That's
believe. I believe.
Yeah. So another big divisional game this week. So we had the Eagles and the Cowboys. The Eagles scored on the first three drives. Jalen Hurts had two rushing touchdowns and then passing touchdown. And then after that, they did not score the entire game. Uh, Cowboys rip off 24 points, win by three. I know we touched on this last week. Eagles offense. And they looked good. They had AJ Brown involved, but then they just absolutely fell apart.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They just don't rush the ball like they did last year. Saquon Barkley. I don't know if it's a line problem.
Their
I'm
O
not.
line's their O line's a little banged up. Like I know Lane Johnson's out right now, and they've had a couple other guys in and out of the starting lineup.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Saquon. It just the same opportunities just aren't there. So yeah, it's gonna be that's gonna be another fun one to watch. The battle between all of those, between those two.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, it's gonna be fun.
yeah. I mean, Cowboys after that win, 5-1 now. It's probably a little late for them to catch the Eagles, with the Eagles being 8-3 for
Right.
the division title. But
Yep.
I mean, they're in the hunt for the Cowboys are in the hunt for
Oh,
a wild card spot for sure.
absolutely they are. Absolutely.
I mean, you'd rather be hot here at the end of the season
For
compared to
sure.
the Eagles, who can't figure out their offense, even though they have too much talent on that offense to be struggling this much.
Yeah, and their defense, the Cowboys defense is looking much better than it did 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, like we said last week, start first half of the year. I mean, that you can make the argument for the second worst defense in football.
Yeah.
And even if they can continue to play kind of middle of the pack defense here, that offense just looks awesome right now. Running the
Yep.
ball, passing the ball well. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb are playing like
Ooh.
the best wide receiver duo. It's impressive.
It is very impressive. I think I saw a stat from Field Yates that had George Pickens' total yards for the year so far and the total Steeler team wide receiver receiving yards for the year. And Pickens was either a few above or a few behind. But I mean, what a pickup for the Cowboys and what a mess for the Steelers.
Well, to think about um, I believe the Cowboys traded a third rounder for Pickens, and then the Steelers traded a second rounder for Metcalf and signed him to an extension. So the
Yeah.
Steelers traded a better pick and are paying more money for a worse wide receiver.
Yep.
Now, this is the last year of Pickens' deal, his rookie deal. So the Cowboys, and with the year he's having, the Cowboys are going to have to fork him over some serious money this summer.
Oh boy. And of course, who knows what Jerry Jones is going to do?
Yeah, after the whole Micah Parsons thing last year. It
Well,
was
and he's mucked up everybody over the years. I mean, Dak Prescott, he's jacked around trying
Rudy.
to. His
Yeah.
timing is just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
If he would just do it on the front end and get it done, Dak Prescott, then CeeDee Lamb,
Yep.
that one. It's just I don't know, whatever.
No, it will be a movie.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I thought this was funny, but it doesn't really matter at this point in the season. The Giants blow another fourth quarter lead. So I saw a stat today that the Giants, in games where they're up by 10 in the fourth quarter, they're 2-5, which 5 losses leading in the fourth quarter is the most ever in a
Wow.
season.
Wow.
The way they just fall apart at the end of the game is incredible. And
Well, and listening to experts that know way more than you and me have all said, that it is 100% a coaching slash coordinator problem, not a performance by the players problem.
agree. I mean, and the fact that right after that game they fired their defensive coordinator, that kind of says it right there. And even
Yeah.
if you go look back at the tape, like I remember the Broncos game when they blew the massive lead in
Oh,
the fourth quarter.
yeah.
The offense was still scoring, but the defensive play calling, you have your probably the best defensive line in the league, front seven, and you're only rushing three. I You got to capitalize on your strengths and send the house to get Bo Nix. So, yeah, they got to
Yeah.
figure out their coaching situation. And I was listening to Get Up this morning, and Dan Orlovsky was saying that if you just look at the roster, this is probably the hottest coaching position in football this summer because the talent's there. It's not like you're hopping in at a bottom of the pack team. You have a great defense, a young quarterback who's proved himself, a wide receiver one in Malik Neighbors, Scattaboo. Yeah,
The, I'll tell you what, Ben, watching the Giants next year is going to be a lot of fun.
if
And
they can
they're
get the
going to
right
have to
coach.
invest in their offensive line to keep these guys healthy. They've
Mm-hmm.
got to teach Jackson Dart how to not take a hit,
Yep,
continue to be aggressive running the way he is, but learn how to get down and not
yep,
take a hit. Hopefully, Scattaboo comes back, at 100%, just as good as he was. Uh, so they're going to be fun. That is going to be a fun division. I mean, I'm hoping that the Commanders, everybody comes back healthy, get everybody back. Obviously, this has just been an unbelievably disappointing season compared to how they finished last year, and need everyone to come back healthy. You talk about the defense and at the end of games. Being a Vikings fan, we have all talked about over all of these years, the Vikings are awesome at playing prevent defense late in the fourth quarter, and we always say that prevents you from winning.
yeah,
So 100% know what it's like to be a Giants fan and watch that stuff. I will tell you, I feel for them big time.
yeah, for sure. Hopping over to college football now. So it was kind of a light week for college football. The biggest game for sure was Oregon versus USC. It was a shootout, but Oregon won by 2 scores. So Oregon kind of solidified themselves as a college football playoff team. They looked the part. That offense is amazing behind Dante Moore. My question for USC. So you and I were talking about USC the other day. The Lincoln Riley era, I would say, as a whole. So he signed that massive 10-year deal in, I believe that was 2021, right in there. And
That was the deal when he came over, correct?
from Oklahoma, yeah,
From Oklahoma. Yep.
signed the
Yep.
big, like, 10-year, $110 million deal. Um, it hasn't really gone as planned. I mean, he's had some good players like Caleb, but they just have not made much noise regarding playoffs. And you have them locked up till 2031. Wait, do you continue to go with them here? Like, how do you fix things?
Well, you need money.
Yeah.
And I have had the opportunity to talk socially recently with a number of USC fans, boosters, that follow the program very, very closely. And when you ask them, because USC back in, well, all of its history has always been a relatively good powerhouse of a team, even when Pete Carroll mucked it up and should be in jail for what he did to that program and then leave and go to the Seahawks. That guy, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But that being said, one thing they need is money. And
Mhm.
it sounds like from talking to some people that kind of know a little bit behind the scenes, and I'm not trying to be an insider, I'm just talking about sitting at a bar, chit chat type talk. They don't have the booster money like they used to. And in today's day and age, that's becoming ever increasingly more important.
Oh, way more. Yeah.
So you have Lincoln Riley, but you don't have any money. And I'm saying, obviously, they have money, but you don't. Are you? How much are you going to be able to improve over Lincoln Riley right now?
Yeah.
I mean, get the money and get the players, and that's going to put them back on the map.
Yeah. Which it's like you say, there's certain teams you need to be on the map, and I'd put USC in that category. They just
I
have
would,
such a big football history. They need to be good.
right? That falls into yours and my theory of going through any sport. You have a handful of teams that you need to be good. You
Hmm.
need them to be relevant because they draw eyes, both positive and negative. You want eyes, even if they're hateful eyes. You
Yeah.
want people to love or hate the team, and for that to matter, you need them to be good. And USC is one of them.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then going along with that, I mean, Auburn the past couple of years has not even been in playoff contention, just basically fighting to be at 500. And after another disappointing season, this season, they started their true freshman quarterback, and I know it was against who'd they play? Was it Mercer this
Mercer,
week?
Mercer. Yeah, which
And,
is a perfect game to start him.
oh, absolutely. And
Yeah,
his he did it both on the ground and in the air. Had a great game. So
yeah.
you and I have always had a soft spot in our heart for Auburn football after watching the Chris Davis kick return. So it's good to see uh, some success there. So hopefully he's
Yeah,
as
I hope that kid. I hope that kid
yeah,
has a good career. You know, he had 401 total yards
yeah,
between rushing and passing. I think he rushed it 9 times and rushed for 18 yards per carry, and accounted for 6 total touchdowns, 4 rushing, 2 passing.
wow.
That's a heck of a stat line for your true freshman.
Even against a school like Mercer, yeah.
Yeah.
As you're reading off stats there, so Notre Dame killed Syracuse. I believe it was 70-7.
Yes.
And you told me this in the pre-production meeting. I want you to read off those first three drives.
Oh well, it was. Let's see. Notre Dame kicked off to Syracuse, and I'm going to mess this up, but within it went interception for a touchdown, kickoff, 3-and-out, punt return for a touchdown, kickoff, number of plays for Syracuse, interception for a touchdown. And so it was 21-0 Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's offense had not touched the football.
Oh my gosh.
Carr had not taken a hike yet.
Yeah.
Uh, and the time of possession in the first quarter, I I think Notre Dame or Syracuse was over 9 minutes, and Notre Dame was, three, whatever it would be. I forget.
Well, and then didn't you say that for the total game or possession that Syracuse was at like 42 minutes,
Oh,
Notre Dame was 18 minutes?
yes,
That's
yes,
insane.
yeah, 42 and 18.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, I think it was 40. I'd have to go back and look.
Hmm.
42 or 49-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
in Syracuse isn't a Mercer. I mean,
no.
Syracuse is a big time football program. They're on some downtime times because that's just brutal.
Yeah, no, that is very unfortunate for them. No, they're a solid program. I've watched them play a couple times this season. They've picked up a few wins.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they beat Clemson this year.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then last kind of major game here. So Pitt upset Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech was the 16th best team in the country going into this game. So kind of trying to fight to get one of those last playoff spots. And Pitt, I mean, came out of the gates firing. It was, I think, 35-7. Georgia Tech tried to go on a little bit of a late run in the second half, but Pitt ultimately pulled it out. So that kind of ends Georgia Tech's playoff dreams for this season.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree totally. It'll be interesting to see tonight when the new lineup comes out, where they or the new rankings, playoff rankings come out for the
Yeah.
top 25, where that puts Georgia Tech. But I would imagine that's about it.
Yeah, they were the 16th seed, and Pitt, after their loss to Notre Dame last week, had fallen unranked. So it'll
Yep.
probably slide them a ways. Um, so college basketball. This is obviously the week of Thanksgiving, so a lot of the big holiday tournaments are about to start here soon.
Yep.
Shout out to Arizona basketball. Last week picked up a big win over UConn. That's their third top 15 win of the season. Jumped up to number two in the AP poll yesterday. Jaden Bradley having an amazing game, or season, sorry, as well as that game. And it's big for him because preseason he was left off the top 20 point guards in the country list.
Oh wow.
Now he's playing like a top three point guard.
Right.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool, I think,
Yeah.
because he was there for most of my college career, and it's fun to see him now that Caleb Love is gone.
Right.
Be the
Right.
main ball handler and see him do his thing. Um, Another thing I want to get into is the NBA. Obviously, it's still early in the season. Every team's about 17 or 18 games in here. The East right now is wide open. So the number one seed, we have the Pistons at 15-2, and they're on a 13 game win streak.
Yeah. Win again last night.
Yeah,
Uh, Equaled or exceeded. I forget what the stat was from the year 2000 something or other.
yeah. I think it tied or something that '04 championship team. Their longest
Yes,
win streak.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. And then the second seed, everyone thought the Pistons were going to be fairly good after they did make the playoffs last year and had a good series with the Knicks. The Raptors are 13-5 and currently on an 8 game win streak. I don't
Jeez.
think anyone saw that coming. The Heat are the third seed. I mean, this going into the year, everyone thought Cleveland and New York was going to kind of run away with the East. They're the fourth and fifth seeds right now, and they got a couple games to go before they catch them. So it'll be an interesting Eastern Conference playoff situation this year.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And that's great. You
Yeah,
know, I think that's fun that the East needs to have the East for however many years recently has been overshadowed so much by the West.
hmm
It's good that it's good to see the East, you know, putting up some headlines and with from good things.
yeah. Because I mean, in the West right now, it's going exactly as expected. The top four seeds are the Thunder, Nuggets, Lakers, Rockets. Exactly what everyone expected going into the year.
Yep.
So it's fun to see a little bit of a difference in the East.
Right. Right. I totally agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to
Yes.
jump back real quick to college football and ask
Yes.
you a question. So, last thing to wrap up college football. I mean, it's coming up on rivalry weekend, last regular season weekend of the season
Hmm.
before we get into conference championships and then to bowls and playoffs.
Yeah.
I want to read off to you some of the games, and it's rivalry weekend, so I want to read off to you some of the games, and you tell me which one you are most excited for, i.e., which one you would watch if I said you can only watch one.
Ooh, I
Now,
like this. Yeah.
all right, so I'm going to give you, I'm going to try to just kind of skim through. There are some great rivalry games, but both teams are kind of down. So I'm going to skip, like, for instance, Clemson, South Carolina. Great rivalry game. We're just going to kind of skip it because neither team is really
Haven't
relevant right now. Okay, so you got Ohio. So this is on, so I'm going to give you Friday, okay?
Okay.
So Friday after Thanksgiving, you got Ole Miss, Mississippi State. You got Iowa, Nebraska. And again, I just said that I was going to not put in irrelevant games, and that is very irrelevant. But that's still kind of a fun game. Georgia, Georgia Tech,
Yep.
um, Indiana, Purdue, and Texas A&M, Texas. If I said you could only watch one game on that particular day, which one of those are you choosing?
Well, from a bias standpoint, Arizona State's a Friday game. So I would pick that one, but taking out the bias, I
Yeah,
would probably say Texas A&M and M and Texas, just because last week we talked about how Texas A&M has been in a little bit of a similar situation as Ohio State, where they've had a light schedule. And Texas has been up and down this season, but coming off a big win last season where Arch had 389 passing yards and four passing touchdowns. So, and the looking at the spread here, it's only 2.5. So, I think that could be an interesting game. And like I said, Texas A&M's first big test.
I agree.
What would
I
your
agree.
answer
That
be
that
for
that
Friday?
would be mine. That would be mine as well. That of that lineup, I think that that's going to be uh, the most fun of the games. Ole Miss against Mississippi State. It is in Mississippi State,
Yeah.
so that's not a given. That place is definitely that's a place where I'd love to go watch a game sometime
Mm-hmm.
with the cowbells and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on Saturday's games. You got Ohio State at Michigan. You got Texas Tech at West Virginia. You got Miami at Pitt. You've got, give me 2 seconds here. Again, just looking for like relevant related to rankings. UCLA at USC. Granted, USC might be out. Vandy at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Those are yeah, Alabama at Auburn.
Yeah, that's a classic.
So and Notre Dame is at Stanford.
Notre Dame at Stanford.
Yep.
So of that slate, I just feel like you have to go Ohio State, Michigan, especially too similar with what I just said to as Texas A&M. Ohio State really hasn't been tested this season. I mean, yeah, their first game they played Texas, but Texas has been a overall disappointment this year. So Ohio State having this Michigan test, whereas or Michigan's won the last 4 years in a row now, and it's always a close game, no matter if one team's having a good season and the other's having a bad season. This game just is always a close game because of the rivalry. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about you?
No, I agree. I think Ohio State Michigan will be the game of the weekend there on that particular day. Not being a fan of either team,
Mm-hmm.
I always in that rivalry forever. I always just cheer for a close game,
Yeah.
fun game, which the last few years it has been a tight game, and we're going into the game where Michigan has won. Is it four in a row?
Yeah, they're up to 9-2 now. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
eighth
nine and
in the
two, so they're
country. Yeah.
significant in the rankings, and
Yep.
they have won four in a row. So a
They're
lot on the
hot.
line for both teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I agree.
I will
Sorry
say,
to sorry to jump back on you on that on you.
no, that was good. I like that. A close second is Vandy, Tennessee. Vandy being the
Ooh,
14 right now, and Tennessee being the 20. So whoever wins this game gets right up there to the back end of the playoffs. At least gets
yep.
close to it. And I mean, the spread, Tennessee 3.5 point favorite. It's expected to be a close game. So that's another really fun one. That'll be good to watch.
I agree, and I'll tell you what. Being the older generation, if you went back to the kid in me in the 80s and 90s and said, and even into the 2000s and said Vandy is, a must watch and playoff contender, I'd tell you that you're crazy.
Yep.
So,
All right, and then hopping into our last segment, same as usual, this or that, we have cereal this week, which cereal was always big in our household growing up. Normally, what we had for breakfast. So, I want you to give me two honorable mentions and then your overall top choice.
oh man,
So,
Ben,
three total, but I need a clear number one.
that is tough. Uh, so, as Ben would tell you, we did not allow. Okay, this is kind of a funny thing that we used to do. We did not allow sugar cereal in our house at home, only on vacation. But you could put sugar on your cereal. What the heck?
That was a little more you that did that, yeah.
Yes,
But
totally,
yeah,
totally. Uh, so Frosted Flakes for me has always been a stalwart. It's always been right up there. And then if I sliced a few strawberries or put raspberries on top of it, oh, that was so good. Um, but my top is Sugar Smacks. Love Sugar Smacks, or Honey Smacks, or whatever the heck it was. I mean, it's been years since I've had Honey Smacks. I think it was with the frog. Well, it was the same type of cereal, and there was General Mills and Post, and so I believe it was actually Honey Smacks where they had the frog, and then
yep.
there was the one with the little bear.
Golden Crisp.
Oh, yes,
That's
yeah,
the one with the bear, and then yeah, Honey Smacks.
right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Essentially the same. And then my honorable mention, I would put Frosted Flakes right there. And then my other honorable mention actually would be a non-sugar cereal, technically a sugar cereal, but then I would put sugar on it, and that would be Wheat Chex. I
That's
love
a
Wheat
good one.
Chex.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's yeah a consistent one. All
So
right.
that's me. I can't wait to hear yours since it's been after all the years of making you eat non-sugar and sugar.
Yep. I mean, all the top three of mine are all sugar cereals. Those are just better.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. So my top one is Frosted Flakes for me. I've
Okay.
always loved them. Super consistent. A close second, though, I will say, is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Ooh. Okay.
Because it's like Frosted Flakes, it's like more of a glaze on the cereal. Whereas
Yep.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, there's like more of a cinnamon dusting. So it makes the milk really good after too.
That's true.
And then for my other honorable mention, I didn't really grow up with this one, but I discovered it later. Fruity Pebbles.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of surprising, but I love a good bowl of Fruity Pebbles.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's good. There's a whole host of like long time cereals that I never really had a chance to try. Like I never had there was like Count Chocula,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was Frankenberry and the little blue ghost guy. They all were kind of in this family of cereals of different flavors, but the same family.
Yep.
I never did the Fruity Pebbles and all of that. Just never did.
Yeah.
So
No, I
that's a
get
good one, Ben. I loved it.
awesome. Well, this was a fun episode. I'm excited for next week's episode after we have rivalry week here. So that should be a really good one. Um, yeah, just remember, go follow the YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, 2Gen1 Mike Pod. Yeah, if you have any topics you want us to cover, feel free to toss a comment in there or shoot us a DM. We'll definitely do that. Yeah, so thank you guys for listening.
Awesome, Ben. Thanks, bud. Love you.
Love you.
Talk to you later.